Hi, my name's Steve Munkley and I'm the ambassador for the Grande Cuisine Academy training platform. Today's video session is going to be on soups, and especially today, cold soup. I'm going to show you how to make a Gazpacho Andaluz. Now, Gazpacho is a traditional Spanish soup. It can be made in various ways at different parts through the countries, throughout Spain, Italy. They all have their own twists on it, but I'm going to do you a pretty basic one. It's served chilled and it's excellent in the summer. So let's go through what you're going to need first of all. The ingredients today, I've got here some chopped tomatoes, some chopped red and green peppers. We've got some chopped cucumber and some chopped celery. Chopped onions and chopped garlic, and then for the garnish, a brunoise of all them vegetables, and I'll show you how to cut the brunoise a little bit later on. Importantly, we've got some lovely sherry vinegar, some white wine, some a little bit of Lea Perrins. I might just add a dash of that, olive oil, and if necessary a few chopped tomatoes to add to the flavour. It's very much a cold tomato based soup. If you had lots and lots of fresh tomatoes, be happy just to use the whole thing. The best thing to do is let it marinate overnight, and then all the flavours come out of the soup for the following day. To construct this soup, I'm going to need a form of liquidizer. Now I've got a RoboCoupe here. We could also use a small mini Madge liquidizer. And here I have a straightforward upright blender. We could use one of them. Or finally, you've got a stick blender. The stick blender is not necessarily the best opportunity, but if you've got nothing else, it's quite happy you can use that. So let's start the process. I'm going to use the RoboCoupe today. And the first thing you do, after chopping everything up, all the ingredients that I've chopped go into the blender, along with the onions. Okay. A good splash of sherry vinegar, some white wine, and then I'm going to add some of these chopped tomatoes. As I said, I'm using the tin variety to add into this, but if you had an excessive amount of fresh ones, they would work perfectly too. So I'm just going to turn that on, get that nicely blending, and as you can see, all the ingredients now are starting to come together. The lovely colour of the red's coming out, and we will start to dribble in a little bit of olive oil at this stage. Be patient, it's going to take a while, because the smoother you make it, the more the flavour is going to come out of each individual ingredient and actually give you the final product. So this will stay on here for about 2 or 3 minutes blending. I'll then put it into a container and it will go into the fridge, and as I say, be left overnight to actually marinate, get all them flavours out, and then it'll be ready for tomorrow for passing. Okay, so our Gazpacho soup now has been in the fridge overnight, and I'm just going to finish off the garnish. One thing I didn't mention to you yesterday is in some parts of Spain, they actually put bread into the mixture to make it a little bit thicker, and they tend to take stale French sticks or bits of bread. I actually prefer to leave it, do it separately, because I like the smoother, not so quite heavy texture of it. So I'll just show you quickly. So I've done a brunoise here of tomatoes, some cucumbers, some peppers, which is going to be my garnish. I thought I'd just show you, literally remind you all how to cut a brunoise. So I saved a little bit of the red pepper. As you can see, I've gone along and using the rocking motion with the knife, you get a really nice fine brunoise, which is something like, what should I say, about a 2 millimetre square. As you can see there, so that's going in there. That's the red peppers, and again, these are all Mediterranean flavours we're using here. I've taken the outside of the cucumber because you've got the nice green colour, which I'll add to when I'm decorating. And again, nice. The thing is, cut the length of the cucumber to a size that your knife works with nicely. Don't try and cut massive, great big pieces. It's easier to do them in sizes you can cope with. And as you can see, just quickly going through with the rocking motion with the chopping knife, and I've prepared the garnish there for the actual soup. Okay, so that's our garnish, that's ready for us. Right, going to just take the soup out of the fridge now, where I've had it chilling overnight. As you can see, a nice cream, it's kind of a creamy texture, but it's got that rich tomato flavour. These are all flavours of the Mediterranean that we're using here, and often it's made from, if you've got an excess of really soft tomatoes or overripe cucumbers, that gives you the flavour that you're looking for. Now, again, it's choice. Some people will serve it with like that, with that texture. Some people will actually pass it through a fine sieve, so you get rid of it and you keep just the fineness of it. I'm going to show you both ways so that you can see how it is. But before I do that, I'm going to taste. Something that you should always do on a constant basis is to taste what you're doing. So that's got a nice little kick to it, but it definitely needs some salt. So I'm going to add some salt now. Doesn't need pepper, because when I added the little bit of Liam Perrings yesterday, that was gave it a little bit more of a peppery, spicy kick to it. But it definitely needs a little bit of salt. I think a little bit more on the acidity side, so a little bit more on my sherry vinegar. I can't get across to chefs enough that tasting is one of the most important things we do. If you don't taste it, you'll never know how it improves when you add, just that little bit of flavouring. I'm getting that lovely taste of the tomatoes coming through on it. So one final. That's it. We've definitely nailed it there. So I'm going to give you the first one, which is the one with the texture. There you go. Made a little bit of a mess on the... And it really comes down to personal taste. There's not a right or a wrong way on how you do this. It's whatever you prefer. But remember, this has got to be served nice and chilled. And now the trick is to really squeeze through every last morsel of flavour from these ingredients. As you can see, I'm using a fine chinois here to accomplish this part of the process. See, as you can see, there's a total different texture to this. It's a lot more of a fluid soup now than it was on the first one. Okay, so I put that over there. We've got the two soups there. Now we're going to mix the brunoise vegetables up. Like so. See, they're all similar sizes. So with the soup there. In there. We then finish it with some lovely extra virgin olive oil. Just to drizzle over the top. And finally, a small ploosh of parsley, or any kind of herb that you want. Then this is ready to be served for the customers. So there you have it, chilled gazpacho soup Andaluz.